Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to you. It should be a good Friday for you as a Texas Longhorn fans. Your Longhorns have a scrimmage on Saturday. They only got two more left this Saturday and the next Saturday. One of the topics I want to really get into today is number one in your hearts, number one in your programs, Ryan Wingo. Ryan Wingo is going to be the guy that we are discussing today. A lot of things to break down as relates to Wingo. A lot of conversation to be had. Ryan Wingo actually spoke to the media yesterday as well, and so we're going to have get into a lot of what he had to say. So, and I know he's not number one, but it was the only it was the only way I can make the. It's the only way I don't know. I just liked it. I like the analogy. Anyway, we're going to get into Ryan Wingo and a ton of the topics that are there as well. So he is number one. Why am I tripping? He switched from 5 to 1. I'm tripping. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. And so let's get into this. So Ryan Wingo. I'm not getting into the dog right now. The dog is around, but we're not going to get into that right now. Ryan Wingo has taken center stage. And everybody, I would say everybody in college football, but we know the people in college football who got their dudes. Alabama's got their dude. We know Ohio State has got their dude. And Texas has their dude at this moment with Ryan Wingo, right? And so far, man, this y'all trying to distract me. So far, I'm gonna take the chat down if this is where y'all are going with all this today. Calm down, y'all. So far, Ryan Wingo has been absolutely killing it in training camp. He's been doing a fantastic job in training camp. And let me just retreat this real quick. As a number one receiver, I keep hearing good things about him in training camp, and he's kind of emerged into kind of one of the leaders, one of the dogs, if not the dog, that is in that room. No pun intended. But he has earned up being that guy that the staff is leaning on. He's making plays in practice, and he's a guy that they actually have high hopes for. Extremely, extremely high hopes for him. Like last week, I don't know if you watched one of the videos, but even though the offense, had a little bit of difficulty against the defense, at the end of the day, one of the final plays in that scrimmage was, I believe it was a 25-yard touchdown pass to Ryan Wingo in order to end the game. And so, in the scrimmage at least. And so he's been a guy that's just really been kind of standing up and standing out the entire time. And it's interesting about them just really deciding, okay, this is the guy that we're going to lean on this season because our channel is growing a lot, right? And so because our channel is growing a lot, I realize there's a lot of people watching this for the first time, so you're not familiar with every show. And of course, there's only a few of you guys that watch every single show, right? And so, which I do appreciate, y'all. But one of the things I've said before was that as a freshman last season, I was talking to some people behind the scenes, and the comparison that they kept giving me as relates to Ryan Wingo was Julio Jones. And that's what people were telling me, that like, this guy looks like the next Julio Jones. This guy looks like the next Julio Jones. And I was like, I kept hearing it over and over again. And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to put that out there. Because I'm like, God, that's a lot to put on a freshman, right? That's a hell of a comparison to make. And God forbid he doesn't live up to that. It's like, what was the movie? Was it Friday? She said that she was Janet Jackson, got out the car, looked like Freddie Jackson. That's what it's going to be. I was like, damn, I don't want to say this. He's supposed to be the next Julio Jones. And then, he's just Julio. But he was a guy that continued to grow. Good morning to y'all. He was a guy that continued to grow. He continued to develop. And, you start seeing him a little bit later in the season because he was able to grow and develop. And again, I made this point, and I will continue to make this point. The great thing about where this program is that there's so much talent that's here that you got 5 stars who can sit and grow and develop. And you don't have to throw. I've been saying this all week. You don't have to go and throw these guys out. And so Julio slipped. Ryan Wingo has been that dude who grew and developed. Now Texas is saying to themselves, you're going to be the guy that we lean on this year. You are our number 1 receiver. And you know a guy's a number 1 receiver when Sark says you can talk to the media. Like that's all you need to know. When Sark is like, hey, I'm putting you in front and I allow you to speak to the media, then all of a sudden you already know what time it is, right? And so he did speak to the media yesterday. I like getting into this. And so, and by the way, I understand there were some videos that we put up. I guess some of people put up some videos yesterday of the player availability. We had to take those down. That's kind of against UT rules. They did. I woke up so and I was like, oh snap, this ain't right. Y'all gonna get somebody in trouble. He did speak to the media yesterday though, and let's get into some Ryan Wingo discussion.
How did you get better even though you had some missed time in the spring? How do you feel you got better as a receiver, considering you may be the go-to guy this year?
I feel like I got better through, I think, being able to watch. Like being able to watch Demo work, being able to watch like all the freshmen work. Kind of like I said, I used to have a script, like kind of just getting smarter.
Ryan, now that you've had a year to look back, what was the biggest adjustment going from high school to the college game for you?
I think it was the speed at first, and then like they way more aggressive up here, so kind of get hands off of you. They super handsy up here, so yeah, that speed, and then people just stronger.
Did you hit a wall at any time last year?
Say one more time, sorry.
Did you hit a wall like they always talk about freshmen do?
I think everybody hits a wall. I don't really know like a specific game that I did hit a wall. I feel like I was pretty consistent throughout the season. So yeah.
What do you remember about going to? House last year, obviously, that big run, but just the environment and also kind of preparing for the Ohio State game.
Like, yeah, the Big House was fun. It was loud, super loud. Big stadium. Yeah, it was a fun environment to play in. I had a good run there, so it was super fun to play in.
How can that help you with this Ohio State trip coming out? Very similar circumstance.
I feel like we played in a lot of like big stadiums, big crowds.
Well, let's bring me back in. Are you guys saying you're not hearing the audio on this? Because I can hear it on my end. And man, let me ask you, if I do this, do you guys hear the audio at all?
I mean, I think I've been to the shoe like once for a visit, but I think it'll be.
Because if you guys aren't hearing it, then I'll just take it off and I'll give you the highlights.
How do you change your mental approach to being a starter this year, and even possibly Arch's main target?
Talk to me.
I just feel like my approach is just taking it day by day, working hard every day, getting good looks for Arch. That's specific routes, anything like that. I just feel like knowing that we're gonna have a great connection. We got to get that through practice.
Okay. Oh wait. Well, damn it, man! Y'all told me. Well, I just took it down because y'all said you wasn't hearing the audio. Okay, now it's great. Well, damn it, y'all. Damn it. Oh, damn it. All right, hold on. Let's try this again then. Let's try this again. All right, let's go back.
How did you get better even though you had some missed time in the spring, how do you feel you got better as a receiver considering you may be the go-to guy this year?
All right, I'm starting it over
better
again.
through-
Y'all let me know if y'all are hearing this.
I think being able to watch, like being able to watch Demo work, being able to watch like all the freshmen work, kind of like I said, being able to, I used to have a script, like kind of just getting smarter. Yeah.
Ryan, now that you've had a year to look back, what was the biggest adjustment going from high school to the college game for you?
I think it was the speed at first, and then like they way more aggressive up here, so kind of get hands off of you. They super handsy up here, so yeah, that speed, and then people just stronger.
Did you hit a wall at any time last year?
Say one more time, sorry.
Did you hit a wall like they always talk about freshmen do sometimes?
There's definitely a long delay.
I think everybody
but
hits a
we're good.
wall. I don't really
touch
know like
nothing.
a specific game that I did hit a wall. I feel like I was pretty consistent throughout the season. So yeah.
What do you remember about going to the Big House last year? Obviously, you had that big run, but just the environment and also kind of preparing for the Ohio State game.
Like yeah, the Big House was fun. It was loud, super loud. Big stadium. Yeah, it was a fun environment to play in. I had a good run there, so it was super fun to play in.
How can that help you with this Ohio State trip coming out? Very similar circumstance.
I feel like we played in a lot of like big stadiums, big crowds, a lot of loud games. So I feel like they also. I think I've been to the shoe like once for a visit, but I think it'll be a good game. Be super loud and be ready to play.
How do you change your mental approach from being a starter this year and even possibly, Arch's main target?
I just feel like my approach is just taking it day by day, working hard every day, getting good looks for Arch. That's specific routes, anything like that. I just feel like knowing that we're gonna have a great connection. We got to get that through practice, and then it'll show in the game.
Does your role change at all being, a starter?
Nah, it didn't really change too much. I'm still trying to take the top off, still getting in the rounds, everything like that. So it's just more plays.
How's your bond with Arch developed? I know you went to St. Louis. Just talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like me coming in, our bond was good because he used to text me, try to get me to commit, stuff like that. So our bond was already good then, and then, like I said, he did come to my camp, so it increased from there because, like I said, we down there together, so we still talking just about life, stuff like that, and then we up here now in fall camp, and we up here together all day, so like going to keep increasing, and then as the time goes on, keep increasing.
What have you seen from? What have you seen from Parker Livingstone?
Parker Cole, for sure. Parker Cole. I got to watch him a lot in the spring, and he was that main target. So he did good with all his targets. That being choice routes, he was taking them to the house. Like he was really showing out. So I'm excited for Parker.
What else did you kind of learn throughout that time while you were sitting out?
Ask one more time.
Be straight. You talked about watching Parker during the spring. What else did you kind of learn throughout that time sitting
You
out?
talking about just like in general about Parker?
No, just.
Oh yeah, in general. Like I said, I got smarter. I think like being able to really watch the defenses, really learn coverages, how to attack certain things, how to run routes based off the coverage, stuff like that. So yeah.
Ryan, what have you seen from Cedric Baxter since he's come back?
There we go, Cedric.
So I got to play with you for a little bit last spring, and then like a day or two in fall camps. I never got to play with him, and then being able to watch him like really run the ball and see him open up, he going. Yeah, he got something coming for sure. It's gonna be a good season for him too. A great season for him for sure.
Last year, it seems like in your class there was Ryan, there was Jeremiah, there was Cam. You're kind of just outside, kind of talking about that three. Are you motivated by maybe joining the conversation about those guys and being an elite wide receiver from that class?
I think I'm just focused on my own lane right now. I'm not really worried about no outside receivers. I'm focused on Texas, and we got a big game 1, so I'll just let reporters and stuff talk about that, and I'm just focus on the game.
Great answer.
The receiver room.
Great answer.
Emmett bought another big body.
Emmett Mosley.
Another versatile player. he gonna also be good. We got a lot of great my bad. We got a lot of great receivers in the room, so it's gonna be a good year.
What's
You talked
the
about
process
keeping-
when you've got so many guys who are new on this offense?
Mm-hmm.
Communication pre-snap. What's the process of working on that?
Like I said, we've been working on this this spring, and a lot of them got thrown in there early, so they kind of got to pick it up faster than probably I had to. So it's been good.
You talked about keeping focus for this season.
Mm-hmm.
What is Coach Jackson trying to have you focus on?
Really just because, like I said, becoming that complete receiver. Like I kind of said, Demo is like he getting in and out of breaks, everything. So me is just focusing on every little thing that's catching, getting in and out of breaks. Like just not, you know what I'm saying, just really being a complete receiver.
Some of y'all are my family, right? I'm just gonna tell you, all y'all my family, right? Rodolfo, you family, Buddy B, Core, all of y'all, Nate, everybody who's in here, Maurice is in, Sandman, all of y'all are family, but some of y'all are a-holes. I'm reading the comments. Some of the stuff that y'all saying about like Chip and Kirk, like I'm like, man, y'all are a-holes for real. It's funny. I'm not saying stop. I'm just saying who said it about he's writing stuff down like it's the 1990s or something, which by the way wasn't I was alive, but anyway, y'all make me laugh. Anyway, that was a little bit of Ryan Wingo, right? And what's really interesting, and by the way, somebody have said this, and I want to ask what this means. What does it mean when it says, "I hope we can recruit more preppy players"? I just want to know what that means. I don't. This clarification. I'm just kind of curious. What does that mean, like preppy players? And it like prep school kind of players, or I was just kind of curious about that. It's an interesting observation. So I was just kind of curious. So what's also interesting about this is a couple of things. Is that going into last season, or actually in the offseason, Sark and the staff kind of felt like, we don't have enough experience in that room in order to kind of achieve the things that we want to achieve, right? And so I'm gonna take this chat off the screen. I'm gonna take the chat off the screen. Y'all are tripping. I'm trying to focus on this damn show. Okay, but they went into this. I gotta take this off for a second. Y'all make me lose my focus. It's Friday. We're having a good time. I'm just gonna take y'all down for like 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna put you back up. All right. Let me at least finish a point because y'all making me laugh too much. So they went into last season telling themselves like, hey, we don't have enough experience in that room, right? And so that's why they went out and they got themselves the Matthew Goldens, they got themselves Isaiah Bond, they got themselves Silas Bolden, and the thought process was, hey, we just need more experience in that room. And so they went out and found proven guys. You get Matthew Golden from Houston, who, you kind of felt like he was good because you saw him the year, but prior to that, right? But then after that, all right, I think y'all are good now. I'm gonna try this again. Y'all saw him the year prior to that, and so we knew he was good. I don't know if we knew that he would be first round kind of good. I don't know if we knew that Sark and Chris Jackson would eventually develop, and Torrey Becton, for the strength and conditioning standpoint, would eventually develop him into a first round pick. But that's what he became, right? And then you had the Isaiah Bond, you had the Silas Bolden thing, who more so for special teams than anything else. And so you go into this all season and you're thinking to yourself, all right, it's the same situation. You're probably going to go back into the portal. And they only got one guy, which was Emmett Mosley, out the portal. So I had asked around about that. And it's like, okay, well, what was the difference? Because if you look at the defensive tackle position, loaded up, right? Loaded up. They just, whoever was moving, if they could get one of those interior guys, they went out and did that, right? But they didn't do that for the receiver position. They only got the one. And I was like, okay, well, why is that? And it was because they felt like Ryan Wingo was the one. they didn't necessarily feel like they can go out and get somebody who would be better than Ryan Wingo. They really felt like he would emerge into everything that they thought it would be, the 5-star that he was coming out of high school. And it's really been paying off. Now, he was a little slowed down in the beginning of camp, like right at the beginning of training camp. He had like a little heat issue that was out there. It was a kind of heat related issue. And so, they kind of had to be a little preventative with him to start off. But, that he worked, they worked through that. He got a little bit better. And now he's fine. He's good. He's been out there, hasn't had any issues. So behind the scenes, they feel like he is really, 100% healthy and really has been taking off since he has been 100% healthy. I mean, this Texas heat ain't no joke. Y'all know this. And practicing in the heat ain't no joke either, right? So, but once he got past that, he's been good. And then not only is it a testament to Ryan Wingo, but it also is a testament to Parker Livingstone as well. Because Parker Livingstone, when they signed Emmett Mosley the fifth, by the way, I was fascinated by people who hand down names, generational stuff. It was fascinating on that. I name my kids just their own, their own thing. I wanted my name's Anwar. People say Anwar. Like sometimes people call me Omar, which was sometimes gets weird because now I know you're not trying. And I was just like, I just need you to have your own identity. So, but I do like it. I just always find it fascinating that like who started that and then how did they continue that thing going. But Parker Livingstone, Emmett Mosley was supposed to be the guy that comes in and pushes him. Now, Emmett Mosley's been a little bit banged up himself, but he's getting back to full speed. And so, but the thought process was, hey, let's put Ryan Wingo on one side. Let's put Emmett Mosley on the other side. We got DeAndre Moore in the slot, like feeling pretty good about that. But then what had happened was Parker Livingstone said, all right, game on. And Parker said, I'm ready to ball. And Parker has shown up and showed out. So right now I'm at the point where that battle where Emmett would thought maybe he could be a guy that overtakes Parker. Parker has said, no, hold up, slow down, ease up. Because now Parker's been a guy who has balled out, and that's been good for him. It's been good for him to have someone kind of nipping at his heels and kind of right there at him. So now we're going to see how that whole thing, shapes out. But right now you got Parker balling, you got Emmett balling. And I've got people who believe that DeAndre Moore has a chance to come out. Let me say that better, because we are in 2025. Has a chance to enter the NFL draft after this season. Okay, and nobody get crazy. I don't want anybody get politically correct on me, but I realized as I said it, I was like, I didn't put. Let me rephrase that. He has a chance to become an NFL pick after this season. He's still a junior, right? So, but they believe that he's shown that kind of potential. Rodolfo will love this because the comparison that he gets a lot behind the scenes is of a Jordan Whittington. So that I know Rodolfo don't want to hear that. Rodolfo don't want to hear that. But DeAndre Moore, they feel like he learned from Jordan. He learned how to work, how to go and to operate, and that was his mentor. And they feel like he can be that next go-to solid receiver for them. And so now they feel really good as they go into Ohio State. They feel like we got our guys. We got our guys on the outside. We got a guy on the inside. And they feel strongly about that. Now, here's the kicker. That's why you watch this show. Even though there's a lot of craziness. I know sometimes it's distracting or whatever, but hell, we're having fun, man. It's sports, man. There's so many other things. What the hell? We're going to watch political stuff and get upset about our lives, and we're just going to watch a sports show and enjoy ourselves. Now, you start thinking about who's going to fill in outside of them. I want y'all, and I've said this before, but I need you to take a mental note on this and know that Ump's been telling you this in the off season, and I'm going to tell you this again on this Friday. Keep an eye on Dalen McCutcheon. I know from the freshman standpoint, I know who got all the love, right? I know who got all the love. We know Khalid Lockett is good. We know Jamie French is good. We know Michael Terry down there from San Antonio. He's good, right? We know that, and those were the guys, and not to say that Dalen didn't get love, right, from us, but those were the headliners, right? You may talk about 5 stars. I loved me some Michael Terry. I think he's, hell, I would love for him to play tight end, but he wants to play receiver. He's really good at it, so it's not a problem, right? I would love for him. I think he'd be an amazing tight end. I think he's a first-round pick at a tight end, but if he wants to play receiver, it is what it is. But low-key, y'all, Dalen, as from all the freshmen, has been, what I'm hearing behind the scenes, has been that dude from the freshman standpoint, okay? He's been a guy that I've seen it with my own eyes. I think I told y'all when I was at one of the practices, and it was just one of those, you go out to something and it's like one of the first times, and you start like, who the hell is that? Someone just catches your attention. You ever been to some of y'all AAU basketball or something to that effect? You're like, who's this person, right? Who the hell is that, right? And I just remember I was like 17. I'm like, okay. I was like, yeah, that was a pretty good catch. And I saw another one. I was like, damn, that's a really good catch. And then it's like, who the hell is that? That's like, it was Dalen. And he told him, the thing about Dalen is he's got really, really good hands. And when I say Dalen, I always want to say Dylon. Dylon, because I spit straight fire. But in any case, Dalen, I hear he's got great hands, an incredible route runner, and he's reliable. And if you want to get on the field within a Steve Sarkisian offense, that's you're going to have that. Reliability is for sure. And the other thing that I've heard about him is that he is just incredibly smart. I'm talking about incredibly smart, student of the game, arguably one of the smartest receivers on the team as right now. So he's a guy, again, it may not be you see him a lot this year, right? You might see him in spurts, but I just want you to put a mental note on that one and just know, okay, these other guys are here, but and he can play not only the inside, but he's also an outside guy as well. Margin Hooks trained, Margin Hooks developed. Chris Jackson is taking it from here. So, Margin gets him to that point. Chris Jackson helps him to get to the other point. Just put mental note. Like, told me about this. I'm just going to file this thing away for future reference. They feel like this receiver room is going to be really good. They feel like they are stacked within that room. They feel like, while there are other things that are going to be a work in progress, and we got to see what happens with the offensive line. They feel good about the run game. Feel good about the tight ends, but they love the receivers, and they feel like they got the capability to do a lot of good things. And the other thing too is Sark also, outside of Dalen, for the most part, if you notice, he's moved towards bigger receivers. Like, of course you had Matthew Golden last year, right? And Isaiah Bond was, kind of a bigger guy. But now you look at, when you look at, I keep wanting to say Julio Jones, right? But we look at Ryan Wingo, when you look at Parker, you look at Michael Terry, you look at Jamie French and Khalid Lockett, right? You're looking at guys who are longer, kind of bodies. And one of the things is like when they got into the SEC, they're like, okay, we want those longer frame, faster guys, powerful guys, that can, get off blocks and get open and be physical. And so they've got those guys now. And so when you see from a recruiting standpoint, look, if Sark loves speed, right? But if he can get that perfect combination, that's exactly what he's looking for. And some of y'all have asked me, y'all asked me about Bryant, right? And I would just say the thing is, with him and everybody, and it's kind of just been communicated to me, there's just got to be reliability factor. The one thing about Sark is the flash plays are cool, but he doesn't get lost in, it's, this person made a flashy play, right? He gets more about, hey, how consistent is that guy? And, and that's where he's looking for. It's just the consistency. So sometimes you guys ask me about someone, and it's like, well, what about this guy? What about this guy? It really boils down to, hey, how consistent are they? And if they don't show you that consistency, then you're just not getting good on the field. I said Brian. I meant to say Aaron Butler. That's what I meant to say. Aaron Butler. That's just with him. It's just more of a consistency thing as relates to that. So, but they going into the season again. There's a scrimmage on Saturday. There's probably not going to be a lot of movement from the depth chart wise within that receiver room. There's still some battles, but you already know what you got with those guys, and you should be feeling really, really good about that. All right, let's go with this. Let's go to some questions that you guys might have. Money B, why did you change it from Money B to Money B 2020? It kind of threw me off. And I need you to put like an avatar in there so I know exactly where you are, because just the M thing that you got from Google. Like, just put a picture in there, all right? I need you to put a picture. Can you get Vance on the show before the season starts? I think so. Vance Bedford, he's talking about Vance Bedford. I could. Vance is also, I think he's doing something Michigan-related as well, and he does something podcast with them. I might be able to get Vance on as a guest. Vance pops in the chat usually during the season, and then he pops out. I haven't seen too in a while is Sorrell's dad. We miss him as well, but hopefully big things for him. Decorian Moore or Ryan Wingo, bigger year? I'm probably gonna go Wingo. I mean, Wingo. I mean, I can look at Wingo as your 1,000-yard receiver. Just knock on wood, stay healthy. Yeah, I mean, he's, I don't know what the plans for Decorian Moore. It's not to say that Decorian Moore isn't good, but if you're asking me between the two, my money would be on Wingo, because I know he's going to get the most, he's going to get a lot of targets. He's going to be one of Arch's targets. I was also told like Arch has a really good relationship with Parker Livingstone, like a really good symmetry with those two as well. But my money would definitely be on that. Let me make sure I didn't get any questions or super chats or wait, this is an interesting one. Onward, does the new dog owner respond to Spanish or English since he's Mexican? Well, first of all, tu hablo español un poquito, so I can work with that, okay? But no, the dog seemingly is bilingual. So you don't have to worry about that. The dog is bilingual. The dog is got all of that. And then here's another one for Money B real quick. Hey, what would you like to hear about the team coming out to scrimmage tomorrow? Oh, that's a great question, Money B. I'm not worried about the offense in a weird way. The only thing I want to hear, honestly, Money B, is I would love to hear a little bit, that the offensive line is kind of holding its own against the defensive line. I would like to hear that the offensive line had a really good day. That would make me feel a little bit better about that offensive line because I know they've got talent, but like anything with talent, it still takes time. You're going to Ohio State in week 1, and you've got Arch back there. Now, listen, the great part, and this is the great part, is that the offensive line doesn't have to be something from the Steelers' heyday or something like that, right? Because at the end of the day, when you got a guy like Arch who could do some RPO stuff, the difference between Arch and Quinn is going to be, well, Quinn isn't a guy that's that mobile. He could run every once in a while, and that's fine. But Arch is a guy that if you let him, if there's pressure back there and he takes off, he might take it to the house. And so I would love to hear a little bit more from the offensive line, but I also know that they don't have to be perfect because he can take off if necessary. So because of that I would like to hear a little bit more about the offensive line. I don't know how much more I need to hear about the defense. I mean, that's probably about it. And I would love to hear some splash plays from Arch in the scrimmage. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, the other thing would probably be I want the backup quarterback position. That's probably where I want to know, okay, what do y'all got going on back there? If Arch has to, come out the game because his shoelace is untied, right? And he's out for a little bit. Do you got a backup quarterback that can go in there? I don't know what Matthew Caldwell looks like in a power four. We're Trey Owens. This is a big weekend for him, because KJ Lacey is nipping at the butts. Trey Owens, you got to fight that young man off, right? And so, I want to hear a little bit more about the backups. So the backups, and I definitely want to hear about the offensive line. Those would be a couple of those as well. And then there was another thing that came in here. Okay, well, we could do this. Any news on Emmett Mosley? He's getting healthy and he's getting better, and so I've heard he's healthier now. So now it's just a matter of him competing against Parker Livingstone in order to see how much playing time is going to be. At the very worst, he's going to be in the 2 deep, so you don't have to worry about that. The very worst, he's going to be in the 2 deep. It's just a matter of starter or not, and it may not matter when it's all said and done. But he's definitely in a contention. Jose Rodriguez, WW4IU. Okay, that's a lot. Wow. Jose, what are you doing? What kind of burner account do you got? No, I'm just playing with you. Honor, does Brad Stewart deserve to be at least? Yeah, I would say he would. Yes, I definitely think he needs to be considered. I would love to see what Brad Stewart can have and what he can do if he actually had some, a consistent offense behind him. And that's about it. And I want to make sure I didn't see any more questions in here. I want to make sure I didn't see any super chats in here. I'm going over today because it's a Friday and I don't give a damn. It's supposed to be a 30-minute show, but you know what? If y'all want to talk, we're gonna keep doing it. But I don't see any more questions. I didn't steal anyone's super chat. And Rodolfo asked about Jamie French. He's doing good. He had like someone told me I think he may have had like a one-handed catch in the scrimmage over the past weekend. He was, he's flashing, but consistency is what Sark is looking for. And so it's been, it's the talent's there. Got to be more consistent. That takes time. So it'll come. But right now, Dalen is probably the freshman who's had the biggest impact. It's just a matter of time before those other guys. And again, I would have freaked out because we weren't talking about Ryan Wingo like this last year. And now you see how we're talking about him now. So all you got to do is just be patient. Again, there's so much talent that Texas has that they don't have to rush any of the 5 stars on the field until they're absolutely ready. And that's probably Jamie, that's Khalik, that's all those guys. And really, at this point, it's a hell of a problem to have. Honestly, it's a hell of a problem to have as well. And yes, I don't know what the WW for you means, but it's on your average, it's on your thing. Burner accounts. I won't get into that. All right, y'all. That's it. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. We'll probably be back at sometime over the weekend, actually. So because there'll be a scrimmage on Saturday, so we'll see if we can try to get a video out here for you on sometime on Saturday. So in order for you to know when we're going to go live, I need you to hit the subscribe button. Okay, if you hit the subscribe button, then you get the notifications. Like the video. You can leave comments in there as well. I need to hop in there and check that out. But leave some comments on your thoughts on Ryan Wingo, some of the other receivers, and anything else. And how's Jonah Williams? Jonah Williams is fine. I haven't talked about him. Jonah Williams was recovering from the hamstring, and so they're not really rushing him out there so far. So he sustained that hamstring injury. I think it was towards sometime in the baseball season, or sometimes I can't remember the time frame, but it was a hamstring that he's recovering from. So Jonah's doing good. They love him. They absolutely love him. But that safety room, y'all, it is so damn good that, hey, it is kind of is what it is. Another example. Hey, yeah, he's a 5-star, but we got a lot of talent here. So we'll see you when you're ready. And that's, man, you talk about first world problems. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. Y'all don't know. You remember it was like when it was like Malik Jefferson's year, and they just threw out all those freshmen out there. It was like Charlie's, what was it, his second year or something like that. They were just like, we're just gonna sink or swim, and we'll just see what happens with all these young guys. And they just threw all those guys out there. And now you got freshmen who come in. You're just like, well, cool. Sit down and develop. Sit your ass down somewhere, and when you're ready, you'll be on the field. It's a hell of a. This is like Georgia and Bama and now Texas, and I love it. All right, man, y'all go out, do something nice for yourself, do something special for yourself. I want you guys to go out, have a fantastic weekend, have a fantastic Friday, enjoy yourself, be safe, call yourself Ubers and all those kind of things, and be safe, keep your head on a swivel, go out and enjoy your weekend. I hope you guys have a fantastic time.